Hello.
Hello.
Like 3 naughty schoolboys. Right, if we'll
Accurate.
if we start with, if you just tell me your names and who you play in the show.
I'm Chris Cahill and I play Patrick.
My name is Michiel Janssens and I play Walter.
And I'm Aidan Harkins and I play Billy and Bryan.
Amazing. And tell me in your words how you would describe this show.
I like how you both look at me.
I know you're
I'm first.
That's hard.
I personally find the show is all about community and love and support and just being there for each other when we're telling our stories of our characters. I mean, we're all side of stage and we're just waiting to help tell each other's stories, and that's just so lovely to do. You just feel so supported,
Yeah, I think originally we spoke about the show being like a support group for like an almost ethereal support group. So obviously because we're telling the stories from beyond, there is a sense of support when we do it. We feel like every time a character steps on stage or a story gets told, from the sides we're supporting each other, which I think that makes it even more beautiful, and it is really like a labour of love. Like it's beautiful for us, and I think that's what we try to get across to audiences as well, is this sense of support and community and love. And you know, the show is essentially about death, like, and about a terrible tragedy that happened. You can't really get away from that. No. But what I think we've found through this process, and what audiences are finding through this process, is actually the warmth and love and the happiness and celebration you can find from someone's life rather than from someone's death.
But I think it's also unlike other shows. It's got a very clear theme, and the theme runs through all characters, and then it's not just zooming into one person, it's finding all of these different people. And yes, all these people were suffering from the same things, but at the same time, after hearing the fourth person's story, you start to zoom in less on the actual illness, and you start to think of why have they gotten out of it. And actually the amount of love you get out from something so tragic is actually so powerful. And I don't know, there's something so special about it. There's something so special about the most vulnerable moments in your life, how much love and how much support, but also the complete opposite, how some people don't receive it at all.
We try to approach each story from a sadness point of view, because they just tell them how they lived their life, how they just survived and carried on. Their life didn't become all about AIDS and HIV, it just became about enjoying every moment as it was and carrying on, just finding the happiness in day by day and just enjoying for what it was. I feel that's really reciprocated by the audience as well, because at the end they're just crying or smiling, or like there's so much love coming from the audience at the end, which makes us feel so great.
And I think the important thing is as well, like the end, learning to let go, our final number, because Act 2, I think for me, is extremely emotional. And it's extremely, I know from audiences and from feedback we've received, they find it extremely uplifting and also heartbreaking. And I think once we put in place and we establish to the audience that that's it now, we are commemorating the lives of these people on stage, these patches, these stories that we're telling, and we're just the actors, and we end with that final image of the patches, it becomes so uplifting and so beautiful. It's indescribable, isn't it? Like at the end.
And had any of you seen the show before, or knew of it, or heard bits of it?
Knew of it.
I've heard songs from it, so during drama school and stuff, people sing My Brother Lives in San Francisco and your song, which you sing, Rain Keeps Falling Down. Those are the two that I've heard before, so I didn't want to listen to the cast recording before we did it specifically, because we didn't want to just copy what they did. Wanted to put our own feelings and our own emotions into each song. So I feel it's really important not to just do what they did and tell the story as truthfully as we can from our own perspectives.
And I think it's also quite nice because this is not really a show that you find that much about. You find lots about the theme, and you find lots about productions that have happened, but it's not that you can find a bootleg on YouTube.
There's nothing.
It's
like
not.
that.
So it's really. It wasn't really hard to find your own twist, especially on monologues and stuff, because you just don't have anything to reference.
Because it has been done. Like, it's been done obviously in the UK before, but I think because it's not like the most well-known show in the world, it was really easy for us to like come at it from our point of view. And I think like especially in our production of it, there is like a lot that's personal about it. So changes of accents, it's not just about America. We didn't decide to just all be like an American accent. There's like a whole range of accents, and I think that shows like the worldwide effect of this, like the story and the tragedies and all the like stories that we tell. They're worldwide. They're not just set in one country or one place, and they're also like not with one community or one minority. They are literally like AIDS, HIV. This crisis was a worldwide thing that affected and can affect anyone. So yeah.
What would you like an audience to take away from this?
For me, to hear the stories and to know that this is not a problem that has gone away, that people today are still living with HIV and AIDS. There's a full misconception that it was sorted out a while ago and it's not much in the news anymore, but it's still something that people deal with every day, and statistics show that the percentage is even higher today than it was when the show was first made. So it's something that we still need to get out there, and it's quite nice that we can come and tell that story for a more modern audience that hasn't heard of the show. And they can take that away and still think that it still needs to be something to be done about it, and it still needs to be kind of in the forefront of our brains.
And I think, because my family came over, and I'm from Belgium, and obviously Belgium is such a small country, and especially like where we live, it's a very small community, and this is not really a topic that comes up that often. And for them, they actually, obviously they knew about it, and obviously they knew about it because they lived through that time as well. And because in Europe it wasn't actually, it was a big crisis as well, but it was addressed much earlier than it was in America. And my brother is not a theatre person, and he honestly was like, I think this is a show that everyone should see, just because it's like, I don't know, it's got so much in it.
It's educational.
So much you can take away from it. It's the whole HIV and AIDS thing. You know so much about that after the show. At the same time, it's learning to let go, not just learning to let go of people you've lost, but also things you've lost and people you lose in different ways. And I think in that way it addresses not just the people you lose or people you have lost from HIV or AIDS, or it can just be anything. Really.
I think for me, like, one of my friends came to see it in its early preview, and came out and said it made me really appreciate my life and not take my life for granted. And I think that's what a lot of our stories tell, like not taking what we have now, so like forgetting the tragedy that this is about, and you know, this horrible virus, but appreciating what we have right now and appreciating every single moment, because like we never know when our last breath is going to be our last, as tragic as that sounds, but like making the most of every little thing in life like is just really important. And I think audiences, I would love them to come out feeling like, wow, I love my life and I'm so grateful for all my friends and my family and everything I've lived through.
Tell me more about Bryan. What's he been like to work with?
Bryan is fantastic, just in one word. To walk into a rehearsal process to someone who's got this such powerful vision of what he wants to make and produce and get from us all. Like when we started, we all had one-on-one sessions. Because the show is full monologues, it was actually just me and Bryan, Michiel and Bryan, for working on our monologues and our characters, trying to find the truth inside. And it's inspiring to work with somebody who has that foresight. And I think the rehearsal process was just a dream. Watching him and Adam, who's our choreographer, work together, they were just bouncing off each other. I don't think I've ever seen two people more in sync.
It really felt like they had been working together for years.
Yeah, and this is their first time together. So like one would start a sentence and the other one would just like, I know exactly what you want. Like, should we just do this? You'd be like, no.
And it was always a dialogue. It was never a discussion.
No.
That sort. With us, with the other creatives, it was never it was always a conversation, a dialogue happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like we had it was very collaborative. We got like a sense of what Bryan wanted to do with the piece. He had like a strong idea and a strong vision and strong themes. But again, it was never like a reading. You were never told what to do. You were creating your characters. Like for me, being a Scottish guy, he was like, let's use that. Like let's make that part of this story, because he really wanted truth to be at the forefront of this piece. So yeah, it was just a combination of like a really clear vision, and then us being artists as well, and us bringing ourselves to the table, which I thought was really like inspiring. So yeah, it's been brilliant to work with Bryan.
And how's it been to work with a cast of 16?
I think we've
never thought of it that way.
We've kind of turned into a little community of our own, haven't we?
And it's weird because I feel like most of the time, especially in college, I think most colleges split up in groups.
Yeah,
you always feel more connected to one group than another. And also in this, because it's such an ensemble-heavy show, the times that we were really all of us together, it didn't really happen that often. But at the same time, when we then all came together, it never felt like they were like groups of people.
No, yeah, we've been really close. I think that's like the amazing thing about like process at the beginning was, I think Bryan and Henry and Adam were really, really intent on creating a community. So when we were all like auditioning and waiting to hear, like speaking to them, they were saying like they really wanted to create a family that could really tell like a truthful story and could bring out the love that was required for a piece like this. So yeah, it's been amazing. Like I think we are so different, like all of us. I think no one is the same. I don't think we've got like anyone that's similar, which has been so brilliant. Like it's just been so brilliant to appreciate people and different people's views and the way different people work, both as actors and just humans. It's just been lovely.
That kind of mirrors the show though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The fact that we're all different people and we're all telling different stories from different walks of life, like gay, straight.
Yeah.
What does Callum say? Gay, straight, black, white.
Yeah.
We're all completely different, but this isn't choosy, and it'll pick anyone. It doesn't matter who you are or what you've done. And I felt like we've all bonded over that.
Absolutely. I think like our differences have made us like stronger. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy your evening. Hope it all goes well.
Thank you.
you.
Oh.
Ooh.